Game Store. Epic Game Store. More like worst hell on earth. I knew hating Fortnite would come in handy someday. Since Epic Games release Epic Game Store, something tells me that it's gonna be bad news. Guess what? It was bad news. Because Epic Game Store has a secret spyware that reads your files, your browser history, your friends list, you name it. Hell, everyone knows this by now, I just want to bring it up. Metro Exodus was an exclusivity deal with Epic Games, and not coming out on Steam, because of that shit. Good thing I ain't downloading the Epic Game Store and never will. Hell, I think Fortnite sucks. I think that's what people like kids are there for anyways. I can't bear watching Epic Games doing this bullshit to PC gamers. It's like Epic Games is holding the games hostage at gunpoint and not letting them release the games on Steam. The developers will pull the game from the store. Metro Exodus is one cause it was stuck on pre-order status until they decided to pull the game from Steam stores, and Outer World followed after. Epic Games are making bad decisions. It's fucking shady as fuck. I'm going to ask my fellow Project Renegade players about this at end of the video and interview about this. Until then, Epic Games Store should never existed in the first place. They're taking games from originally being released to Steam stores to a fucking spyware app, which is bullshit. I mean, what the fuck? I'm glad that Fortnite is dying finally, but Epic Games Store is gonna be the most hated software in my opinion, because Epic Games are trying to force players to flock to their software and play the games that are exclusive to the Epic Games Store. Not very smart idea, if I say so myself. I really hate Epic Games' decision, what they are doing with PC gaming. If they keep this up, Epic Games, then the Epic Games Store and Epic Games themselves will become the most hated company. Well, everyone isn't going to flock towards their software anyways. Let's read a Reddit post about the Epic Games Store being a spyware, shall we? By the way, this Reddit post is made by not_m_port and point of view, so I'll be referring to him in this post, meaning I'm reading what he wrote without me just editing it. So I've been poking at the Epic Games Store for a little while now. I'd first urge anyone seeing this to check out this excellent little post to see how things go tits up when Tencent gets involved. Of course, it shouldn't even need to be stated that they have very heavy ties to the Chinese government, who do all sorts of wonderful things for their people, like building hard labor camps, creating employment opportunities for minorities and Muslims, and harvesting organs from political prisoners for profit, redistributing biomatter to help those less fortunate. But this isn't about that. This is about what I've found after poking the Epic Games Store client for a bit. Keep in mind that I'm a rank amateur. If any actual experts here want to look at what I've scraped and found, shoot me a DM and I can send you what I've got. One of the first things I noticed is that Eggs likes to enumerate running processes on your computer. As you can see, there aren't many in my case. I set up a fresh laptop for this. This is a tad worrying. What do they need that information for? And why is it trying to access DLLs in the directories of some of my applications? More worrying is that it really likes reading about your root certificates. Like, a lot. In fact, there's a fair bit of odd registry stuff going on, period. Like I said, I'm an amateur, so if there are any non-amateur people out there who would be able to explain why it's poking at keys that are apparently associated with Internet Explorer, I'd appreciate it. It seems to like my IE keys too. In my totally professional opinion, the Eggs client appears to have a severe mental disorder, as it loves talking to itself. I'm sure that this hardware survey information it's apparently storing in the registry won't be used for anything nefarious or identifiable at all. Steam is at least nice enough to ask you to partake in their hardware surveys. Now that's just what it's doing locally on the computer. Let's look at traffic briefly. Fiddler will, if you let it, install dank new root certs and sniff out /decrypt SSL traffic for you. Using it and actually reading through results is a right pain though, and gives me a headache, and I only let the Epic client run long enough to log in, download Slime Brancher, click a few things, and then I terminated the process. Even that gave me an absolute shitload of traffic to look through, despite filtering out the actual download traffic. The big concern that everyone has is tracking, right? Well, Epic does that in spades. Look at all those requests. Look at the delicious tracking.js. I'm sure Xi Jinping is going to love it. Here's a copy of that script. I'm going to open this in the new tab and check it out later. I couldn't make heads or tails of it, but I'm also unfamiliar with JS. It looks less readable than Peril, though. I didn't see any massive red flags in the traffic. I didn't see any root certs being created. But I also had 279 logged connections to look at by hand on an old laptop and simply couldn't view it all. There's an absolute fuckload of noise to go through, and I didn't leave the client running for very long. It already took me hours to sort through the traffic, not to mention several 100,000 entries in Proc Monday. If you want to replicate this, it's pretty easy. Grab Fiddler and set it up. Enable SSL decryption. Don't forget to remove the certs afterwards. Start up Epic and watch the packets flow like a tranquil brook all the way to Tim Sweeney's gaping data centers. Use Procmon if you want an extremely detailed, verbose of absolutely everything that the client does to your computer. You'll need to play with filters for a while to get it right. And I'm sure there are better ways to view what's going on inside of network traffic. But I'm merely a rank amateur. I give this game store a front a final rating of pretty sketchy/10 with an additional award for association with Tencent. As we all know, they have no links to the Chinese government whatsoever, and even if they did, the Chinese government would never spy on a foreign nation's citizens any more than they would on their own. I also welcome attempts from people who do this professionally to take a crack at figuring out what sorts of questionable things the Epic client does. Seriously, I'd love to know what you find. NB. Create file in Procmon can actually indicate that a file is being opened, not necessarily created. Edit. Oh yeah, it also does a bunch of weird multicast stuff that'll mess with any TVs on your network. Good job, Epic. Wow, props to nut_m_potent for doing this and warning us about this. Now let's look at the script. Holy Mary Mother of Joseph, that's a long ass script. Jesus, Epic Games, what wrong with you? I just spitted out my drink during that recording of that script like holy crap, that's terrible what they are doing. They're probably going be hating on this video because they like software or trying to protect the Epic Games Store. On to the interview with Project Renegade players.
Hey, Rick.
Is there anything going on right now?
No. Hey, I have a question for you. What do you feel about Epic Games stealing Steam games and becoming and being a spyware app?
What do you mean? I never heard of that.
Hey, you never heard of Epic Games Store?
No.
Oh, that's a relief. That's a fucking relief. Go ever look it up. What do you feel about Epic Games Studio, Epic Games Store taking Steam and you're fucking running away?
Who's down to train in the sim room? Who's down to train in the sim room?
What do you feel about the Epic Games Store being a spyware app? I take that as he hates it.
Ironic.
How about you? How do you feel about Epic Games Store being a fucking spyware app?
We got magma droids, which will fuck you up as well.
Exclusivity deal.
These fuckers are pretty beefy. And then we got this boy,
You don't have any opinions
which
about
is what I like to call a...
Doing in an interview about the fucking Epic Games Store, how do you feel about the Epic Games Store having exclusivity deals with developers that was gonna post for Steam? Apparently I'm getting...
It was kind of actually amazing.
I told her. No. Everything is, no, I mean, they're spying on your fucking shit, like, your personal life, your personal files, your fucking browser history, your friends list on Steam. They're going through all your files on the computer. How's that high? Ain't that, how is that your fucking kink? talking about Epic Game Store. They're fucking doing this to try to keep. I swear to God, I regret asking you now. This interview is now over. What do you say about Epic Game Store trying to have exclusivity deals with developers that was gonna release games on Steam and pulling it out on Steam? Like
I say they're bullshit, and on top of the fact that Epic Games Store is literally spyware. Like, no, fuck that. I'm not downloading spyware just to play your game. Fuck you.
Great talk. That's a great interview. I say so myself. Thank you for the interview. Do you have anything else to say about Epic Game Store?
It's shit, and the only people that should actually use it if you're actually playing Fortnite. Though there's probably nobody that actually plays it anymore because, you know, Apex.
It's taking over, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Alright, I have a.
But anyways,
question. How do you feel about Epic Games Store taking games away from Steam?
I actually I have an
get on.
actual opinion about that. That's not fun. How they did my boy Metro Exodus. Like, if y'all keep complaining, we're not gonna put it on Steam. Like.
No, actually, that was just one developer. That was one developer, and he doesn't have any bounds over that.
Yeah, he doesn't have balance over that.
So, and it wasn't even developing that said they were gonna release it on Epic.
And had a 1-year exclusivity deal. Even Outer Worlds was coming out on Steam, but they had to pull out because they put it on the Epic Game Store.
Yeah, because the people that own them were like, hey, fuck you, we're gonna sign an exclusivity deal.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
So, how do you feel about them being a spyware app, too?
Well, a lot of programs are basically spyware now.
No, but it's like spyware and what you would term a virus spyware. Like it's really bad. Like tracking all your information, no matter what it is. Even I've heard rumors even about keystrokes.
I have put in keystrokes that I cannot speak of.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, alright, and that's Fang, everybody. Game Store and their spyware shit.
I know Fortnite.
Get out. Get out. Get the fuck out. Out. Get the fuck out. We don't need. Get the fuck.
Thanks for those Project Renegade players who participated in the interview. I'm probably do something like this again maybe. Who knows. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. 1 like equals a love letter from your crush.
Why you got a 12-car garage and you only got 15 cars? Cause we all just wanna be big rock stars and live in hilltop houses driving 15 cars. The girls come easy and the drugs come